This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Blak Magus, and PlayStation Experience brought a lot of good announcements. They showed a lot of games, a lot of things for all different types of PlayStation fans, a variety of genres, game types, styles, visuals. It was pretty cool, but of course, there's an elephant in the room to some, and that is SOCOM. Now, for the last few years, I've been half jokingly and half seriously been saying that Sony's going to announce SOCOM. Of course, I've been wrong in my quote-unquote predictions, even though I'm still convicted to the idea that there probably will be a reboot of SOCOM coming within this generation. Now, of course, as the years go on, I mean, it's been 3 years since the PlayStation was released, PlayStation 4, and no word of SOCOM yet. People, being in the most impatient era that I can recall, are getting antsy and they're upset. Patience isn't a virtue anymore, I don't think, because people are just like fed up. They're like, fuck you, Sony. You don't care about SOCOM. You don't care about us. It's a lot of heat coming towards Sony for not giving people what they want, when they want, how they want it. There's a shocker. You don't always get what you want when you want, how you want it in life. I don't know what to say. Welcome to the world and how things have always worked. I don't know. I'm sorry that it may sound like I'm being kind of cold-hearted or not taking their quote-unquote pain serious, but I kind of can't, because here's some things. Now, I understand you really like the series, you want the game. I still, again, believe Sony will eventually make it happen, but there's a lot of factors that go on to this whole thing. If you really pay attention and think about it, it's not as easy as just saying, "Oh, we're bringing another SOCOM." Because, okay, here's why I think people should just calm down, relax, and chill out and be patient. So, SOCOM 4 released in 2011, right before the PlayStation Network crashed. That caused a serious hurt on that game, which didn't necessarily review well anyway. So without having the service to be able to play it, on top of the fact that it wasn't considered that good by a lot of people, pretty much buried the franchise. And it was, so the negative feedback was so huge that Sony closed Zimper Interactive, the developers. That studio disbanded. Everybody went their separate ways. Now, you don't have a studio to work on this, so if they want to reintroduce it, because I'm sure a lot of those people have gotten jobs with other studios or doing other things. I'm sure they weren't just sitting around waiting for Sony to give them a call. It's like, oh, you got your job back. Come on, let's make SOCOM. So, in order to bring back the franchise, you need to get people in. Now, there's someone out there who they can definitely bring back, which is David Sears, one of the original leads on the SOCOM series on PlayStation 2. Now, I can see him coming back because he really loves that style of play in the franchise. He was trying to bring it back with H-Hour, but things didn't go well with the studio that he was working with. So, that being said, 9 times out of 10, he could come back, he could work on it. And there's something else I'll touch on with him, but that's the thing. You have to get a studio. What current studios do we have now under Sony's umbrella that you think could do the job. You're gonna say Naughty Dog? No, they're more into the more action adventure story focused um, games right now. They want to make The Last of Us and Uncharted type games and things like that, where it's heavy in script and story, um, and as well as solid gameplay. But the world, the universe, the characters, that matters the most. That don't sound like something that they would be interested in um, when it comes to SOCOM, in my mind, because it's basically a multiplayer tactical shooter for the most part. That's how people play it. And even if it was to have a single player component with the new SOCOM, if they came out with another one, uh, same thing. It's tactical based shooter. That's not Naughty Dog. Santa Monica Studios. They're currently working on God of War, and that's their thing too. Action, third-person action games. They have been doing this for a while. I can't recall a shooter made by Santa Monica Studio, so I don't know if they'll be able to make the type of game that people want. And the list goes on. I mean, going through their catalog, I would say Guerrilla Games would be the closest to a studio. Maybe Bend. But Bend, they're working on their own third-person adventure right now. And they're more known for that because the Bend team is generally comprised of people who did Siphon Filter. So it's not a third-person tactical shooter. And Guerrilla Games, Killzone, they were the shooter studio until they made Horizon Zero Dawn. And even if they were to move, they have to switch their mentality from a first-person shooter developer to a third-person, and then they're going to make you guys go crazy because, generally speaking, Guerrilla Games takes 3 to 4 years to develop games. Look at all their games. I mean, the original Killzone came on the PS2. Second one didn't come till the PS3 was released. It was about 3 or 4 years between that, I think. And then same thing between Killzone 2 and Killzone 3. Killzone 3 came out right at the end of the PS3's life cycle. And then, of course, but that was like, what, 2011, I think, or 2012? It came out, and then, no, it was 2010, I want to say. Either way, it took 2-3 years for them to get with the next Killzone, which was the launch title for the PS4. So you see what I'm going at. They might not put it out as fast as you guys want. You guys want it now. Third factor, and this goes back to the David Sears thing. So if you go at David Troy Sears, that's David Sears' Twitter. He hasn't tweeted in over a year. One of the last tweets that he put out was, I think, in July, where he was exclaiming about SOCOM Remastered. That could be something telling, because that could tell me that perhaps Sony is working on something, and they've always been working on something, and just aren't ready to tell you guys what they're fucking working on. That's another thing. They don't have to rush. Sony's never been one to really rush and make announcements. Just like when you saw the Last of Us Part 2 trailer, Sean Layden, came out and candidly said, we had been waiting to do this until they felt like they had something that was working enough to show. Basically, it was still in early development, but he made a point of saying that they're at a point now where they're ready to show it. That's what most of their studios do. It's just like the God of War game. God of War wasn't just brought out off the bat on PlayStation 4. They've been working on it for a couple of years, and they finally had something to show. Same thing could be said of Uncharted 4 when it came out. It took a while for that, and then they finally showed something. Sony's not going to rush. They're not going to rush. I think they're going to try to define the studio if they don't already have one, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do have one. They're gonna keep it as quiet as possible until they're ready to announce it. And you know, that's the thing. We don't know if they have abandoned it. I know a lot of you guys want to say they have, but it's you don't know yet. You really, really don't know. I mean, nothing that they've said in response to people's requests says to me that yeah, they have no interest. Um, I just think it's going to be that situation where when they're ready, it will happen. It's going to happen probably with the remaster first when they're ready for that. But it's I still believe it's going to happen. And if it doesn't, again, we're always looking for new stuff. Why not find a new franchise? Something else to play. I know you can't find that style of gameplay anymore. Sorry, but things change. I That's the best I could say, and I hate to sound like a jerk because I'm not trying to be a jerk, but at the same time, I feel like patience needs to be adhered to the situation. Seriously, stop acting like Sony is intentionally trying to hurt your feelings. It's not that big of a deal, but that's just me on the situation. Anyway, we'll see. I mean, hopefully, I'll be proven right for you guys' sake because I would love to hear people stop being completely irrationally upset over no SOCOM announcement. Seriously, seriously. But anyway, as always, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Blak Magus, and I'm out. Deuces.